Hello and welcome to Award Circuit, where we discuss the latest contenders in the awards race. My name is Clayton Davis. I'm the Film Awards Editor at Variety.
And I'm Janelle Riley, the Deputy Awards and Features Editor at Variety.
And we're talking about the Best Picture contenders today at the Golden Globes, both drama and the comedy or musical side. And it is an embarrassment of riches, as we should always expect. And we have to just kick off things with noting Minari, the great film from Lee Isaac Chung, is not eligible in the drama race. So that won't be mentioned during this time here. But we can kick things off with another great Asian director, Chloe Zhao's Nomadland.
My mom said that you're homeless. Is that true?
No, I'm not homeless. I'm just houseless. Not the same thing, right?
No.
Beautiful, beautiful film about a woman who is displaced from her home of many years and becomes a nomad on the road, led by the wonderful Frances McDormand.
This is representation at the greatest core level that we look for in Hollywood. This is, a movie about those types of people that feel underseen, but brought to you by an Asian director with a point of view that is just touching, moving, great performances across the board. This movie is it's gorgeous.
Right behind Nomadland, we have The Trial of the Chicago Seven, Aaron Sorkin's sophomore directorial feature.
We want to underscore again that we're coming to Chicago peacefully, but whether we're given permits or not, we're coming.
Insane cast. Sacha Baron Cohen, Eddie Redmayne, Frank Langella. It's, wonderful true story about the people who they tried to convict for the riots at the 1968 Democratic Convention. Couldn't feel more timely, could it?
Yeah. Great cast, terrific writing. Aaron Sorkin writes the script, and you expect this to be at the top of many ballots as their cast.
Also over on Netflix, we have David Fincher's Mank.
Herman Mankiewicz, New York playwright and drama critic, turned humble screenwriter, Mr. Hearst. This is a business where the buyer gets nothing for his money but a memory.
Who doesn't love a story about Hollywood? Well, Hollywood certainly does. So we could see this film, which is about Herman Mankiewicz, the writer of Citizen Kane, or co-writer with Orson Welles, depending on what you believe. Beautifully shot in black and white. It's David Fincher. It's a story of old Hollywood. Amazing performances. Never underestimate it.
More Netflix on the horizon. Spike Lee's To Five Bloods.
Intimate. Welcome back to Vietnam.
Being back here, it is not easy.
Came out back in June, starring Delroy Lindo, the late Chadwick Boseman. And I think it really showcases all of Spike's great sensibilities as a filmmaker that he's exhibited his whole career. But I think there's this almost like a re-falling in love with Spike Lee these days and all the films that he's doing. He's really stretching himself out as a filmmaker, and this is another great achievement for him.
Another great ensemble over on another streamer over on Amazon Prime Video. You can see One Night in Miami.
New heavyweight champion of the world.
Say, champ, you don't suppose you could sign an autograph?
Yeah, of course, man. Give him an autograph, Jim.
Actually, Mr. Cook.
Regina King's feature directorial debut about an imagined meeting between four legends. And most of the action takes place in, as the title suggests, one night in a hotel room in Miami.
Based on the play by Kent Powers, who also adapts the film, it even expands beyond the play because the whole play takes place in the hotel room. But Regina, who just gets into a director's chair with a surety and force in a way that not the directors that have been doing it for decades can't do. But it is quite the addition to a year that has very timely themes regarding race, equality, and where we are as a country. Mm-hmm. But looking into the studios, The Father from Sony Pictures Classics.
You're living with your daughter at the moment?
Yes, until she goes to live in Paris.
No, Dad, why do you keep going on about Paris?
You told me.
No, I didn't.
Directed by Florian Zeller, stars Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins and Academy Award winner Olivia Colman. Also based on a play, seems to be a theme this year, where a man named Anthony is going through the early stages of dementia and is losing his memory. And you really go on this ride with him through rooms in his house and where he is in time. And you are just as disconnected, confused, and disjointed from reality as he is. And it's a tough sit for a lot, but it's also brilliant construction of a film that I haven't seen in quite some time.
Another one of my favorite films of the year, moving from The Father to Promising Young Woman.
You remember what happened, right? Why I dropped out. I'm not the only one who didn't believe it. We get accusations like this all the time. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I am a huge, huge fan of this movie from Emerald Fennell, who was a writer on Killing Eve. She has made a fierce, funny, wonderful movie. It is absolutely savage in all the best ways. I actually expected it to be more divisive, but I've heard actually nothing but praise. I think it's a wonderful performance. The film is loaded with them. It's just a movie unlike any other.
The icing on the cake for this film is Bo Burnham and how amazing he is and how I hate how much I love him in this movie.
Another movie I would love for people to keep an eye on. I mean, they obviously are because it's being seen and the actors are doing well. Sound of Metal over on Amazon. A lot of praise for the lead performance by Riz Ahmed and the supporting turn by Paul Raci, but I really think that should translate into some love for the film itself.
The movie just really puts you in the mind of someone who is going deaf, and it's a difficult sit for a lot of people because you are just as stressed out as he is, but what an achievement. And wrapping the drama side up, I can't think of a film that has gut punched me harder this year than Judas and the Black Messiah from Shaka King.
You're looking at 18 months for the stolen car, 5 years for impersonating a federal officer, or you can go home.
Starring Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Kaluuya, and the beautiful Dominique Fishback, this film takes a look at Fred Hampton's murder by the FBI that was pretty much caused and started by the infiltration of Bill O'Neill, who was played by Lakeith Stanfield. And it is 70s-esque filmmaking from a second-time director. This is one of the big things everyone needs to keep an eye on. But now, moving to the funny side. Who doesn't love a good chuckle? Then Borat, subsequent movie film.
Your daddy has a lot to learn.
My daddy is the smartest person in the whole flat world.
One of my favorite films of the year in any category. I just think a fan of the first movie. I think this one is superior in every way, thanks to introducing this feminist angle via Borat's daughter Tutar, played by, I think, the year's breakout star Maria Bakalova. So funny, so clever, so smart. I really, really adore this film.
She's like the it girl right now. She's just fantastic. But people love to laugh, but people also love to sing. And that goes to Netflix's The Prom.
It's time to build a prom for everyone. Show them all it can be done.
Big, bold, beautiful cast. Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Ariana DeBose, who is just like amazing in it. James Corden, directed by Ryan Murphy, who's done some dark angled television shows and films like American Horror Story and Running with Scissors. But this is Ryan Murphy at his best. It's his best moment. He recreates Broadway.
He's really in the zone here. And speaking of Broadway, this is where Hamilton will be eligible because it's not eligible at the Oscars.
$10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter.
Talk about a celebration of Broadway. Putting this on streaming on Disney Plus was one of the big gifts, during the pandemic. And it absolutely held up and even sort of elevated, it wasn't just a filmed play. They shot it very smartly.
Yeah, they shot it over a 3-day period towards the end of pretty much all their runs of the original cast. Jonathan Groff actually was already gone at that point, came back to play his role of the king, who we love so much. But Hamilton brings about the conversation that Hollywood's been avoiding for some time, the distinction between film and television. And the fact that Golden Globes accepted this as a film and the Oscars would not, this now elevates that conversation and really seeing the lines blurred between everything. But Hamilton is definitely in the mix. But along with that, another streamer, On the Rocks, from Sofia Coppola.
So Dean's going away a lot, huh? On business trips?
Dad.
Raise your hand if that sounds fishy.
He's not like you.
Re-teamed with Bill Murray, funny as ever. Rashida Jones, Marlon Wayans, just so great in a comedy, by the way, where he's not doing the comedy. He's the dramatic heft of the comedy, but it is a love letter to New York City. I adore this movie, and it's such an easy breezy watch.
Speaking of easy breezy watches, but at the same time with moments of great stress, Palm Springs.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
That I might have heard about.
Yeah. The second you fall asleep, it all just goes back to the start.
It openly pays homage to Groundhog Day, also starring Bill Murray. Done really well with the critics and audiences, and I could definitely see it landing a space here.
Oh, I mean, it's hilarious. Andy Samberg, Kristen Milioti is so great in it, as is J.K. Simmons. Fantastic screenplay by Andy Ciara.
Everything that we are doing is meaningless.
I hope it's not all meaningless.
And that's it for this edition of Awards Circuit. Once again, I'm Janelle Riley, Deputy Awards and Features Editor at Variety.
And I'm Clayton Davis, Film Awards Editor at Variety.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the circuit.